Hello, my name is Hockenheim and I welcome you once again to the W2W eval race number 2, Electric Boogaloo. So we are once again back in on Germany. The race is about to start in less than 30 seconds time. We have timed this to perfection. We have a new range. Well, I say a new range. We do have some people who raced in Monday's race, evaluation race. We have some new faces as well. Very much looking forward to that. Also as well, for a key point, the patch, the 1.05 patch came out yesterday, so the cars will be at least, for what Cody say, 1 to 1.5 seconds faster per lap. So I hope that can translate into good overtaking. Once again, I shall ask if there is any issues with the stream to please mention about it, as we are still trying to test out the stream before and I believe we're actually having an issue about this, so give me a second to realise what I have done. There we go, and we should have life in this stream. As the cars are just joining, so you're not missing much anyway, and that is qualifying just started. So yeah, briefly going back to what I was just saying there, if we have any audio issues, any stuttering on the stream, please mention it to us. This at the end of the day is a test for the main stream coming up on Monday. Now, we did have some stutters on Monday's race and I can only apologise for that. I've tried to rectify it for today's race, and hopefully this goes swimmingly and it's not going to be a two-parter. Let's hope not. Right, so running down the order, we have Riddled Skull, Lasher, Lappin, Azox, Kohei, Archer, Luck Taps, Wheel, Mandrop, Colin Blake, I was really hoping his name is different here, Bijelnuch, I'm going to say that wrong, I really do apologise, Rob Stark, Gauzy Egg, Silvers, Wizzock, Shaddy, Turbson, Delta, Black Widow J, and Ken Worthington. So we have some very experienced faces within this field, and I don't mean that by Monday's race, I mean that in general with league racing. These people are very talented, as we see the majority of the field already head out for the outlap. Let's have a look at tyres. Any different? We have Lasher on the hards, we have Lappin in the mediums where he has yet to go out. We've got Ken coming out on the hards, and we have Delta out on the hards and not starting hards, I should mention as well. So a bit of a split strategy for them so far. Let's see who is the first person to cross this line. Now, you think that was a Haas of Turbson. He will be the first person. Behind him is Azox. Azox is going to have a really good run at this lap if he can keep close to Turbson, especially with the DRS into turn 3. We will go on board heading onto the straight. So far so good, that's a 16.0 heading into sector 2. That has been quicker than Monday's race, but as expected because of the patch. Heading into turn 6. Looks like it's a little bit slow, maybe not get the perfect line, maybe taking a little bit too much speed, as we see yellow flag sector 1. Heading into the Mercedes curve, that's turn 8. A little bit slow there, not hitting the marks properly as of yet, but well, he's on 0 ERS as well, I should mention, so this is a take your time lap. Just getting some race experience, probably new to this patch, as mentioned. It has came out as of yesterday. But he crossed the line, and that's validated. That's probably why he's taking his time. Excuse me, that's Azox putting the first lap in with a 1:16.1. Now, I believe it's actually Rob Stark posts the fastest lap with 1:14.6. I was going to mention that the times were around 1:15s, on Monday's races, so I was expecting a bit of difference. 14.6 in the hard is a huge difference, as you see a yellow flag sector 1, possibly for cars getting out of each other's way. That's real, with a 112.4 on the softs, a cracking lap from the lads. As we see Ken Worthington cross the line, 113.9 puts him up to second place, and again on the hard tyres. Who else do we have? Sector 1, Sector 3, someone's maybe had an off. Nope, traffic is more likely the answer. We have a Riddled Skull with a 119.2, and we have Lappin on the mediums up into second with a 13.3, the only person to put lap on the mediums so far. Let's have a look somewhere else, see if anyone is putting a lap in or is about to finish one. If not, we are missing it. We'll stay on with Delta. He is on the hard tyres as well. He does have traffic in the Haas. Whether that slows him up for the last sector, he is using less ERS, possibly trying to save it for the end. That's not going to really do much for his third lap, and he's aborted it. He has aborted it, and he's following. Real has been following him. That was a little bit of a mistake there from Delta. Who else do we have on your lap? We have Black Widow J, who participated on Monday's race. She is on the hard tyres. Let's see how she does. And aborts the race, aborts the lap as well. So great commentary there from me, or camera work from me, because I'm not picking out the lappers. So we have Archer puts himself, no he doesn't, it's another invalidated lap, so that's that run more or less done, and that lap is definitely invalidated too. So we have 10 runners so far, with 12 minutes to go, who have put a lap in. We're still waiting for another 10, so to speak. As we see Turbsen put himself up into third with 13.6, and I should mention, never did, Luck Taps in fourth with 13.62, both of them on the soft tyres. So currently awaiting Jorge, Archer, Mandrop, Galzieg, Silvers, Shadi, Delta and Black Widow, as we do have someone posting a lap, or someone changing. You didn't quite catch that. See if there was a change, or am I just seeing things? It was Lasher heading up with 14.4 on the hard tyres. I'll actually look for someone on a lap rather than looking at the garage. Outlap, oh, as we see a Ferrari getting out of shape there, and that was Luck Taps by the looks of it. Yeah, he hit the barriers in turn 1, thank God there is no... oh, it looks like he's still struggling. Yes, thank God that there's no damage in these particular evaluation races, or that would have been a good night for qualifying at least. He doesn't seem to be enjoying these tyres, so obviously 11 minutes to go, he still has a couple more runs up his sleeve. Let's have a look at... let's have a look at someone. Who else is out? So we've got Bieljuk and Mandrop. Who is in front? We have Bieljuk in front, so we will stay on board. Actually, let's go on board. Let's stay on board. As we see another yellow flag, sector 1. Looks like a very clean line out of turn 10 for Bieljuk for 50.3. Coming into the last sector in the stadium section, one of my favourite parts of this track. A lovely bit of banking coming into 12. Raise the curb at 13 and 15. A little bit wide. Does that count as invalidated? I'm not too sure. Check that. It does not. That puts him up to second with a 112.9. Cracking lap from the lad. Who else put a lap in? We have Mandrop with a 7th position currently with a 14.2 on the soft tyres. So it looks like the gap between the hard tyre runners and the soft tyre runners isn't as much as previously thought. Now again, the deltas we picked up on Monday with the gap between the softs and mediums being 1.1 second and the soft to hards being 1.6 seconds could have altered again with this patch. We are going into unknown territory. It's exciting, but it does make some confusing aspects to this race, but as clearly stated, that's where the excitement comes, and hopefully that excitement can translate into some good entertainment. So 13 people completing the lap so far. We are still waiting on Jorge, who is in the middle of a lap. We are still waiting on Archer, who looks like he's on the end of his lap. Let's stay on board, let's see how he gets on for the lap time. That is another incomplete lap from Archer, so that is 3 laps we've at least been looking at, and he is yet to post a lap. It's going to be quite worrying for his confidence, especially with half of the session already completed. We have Gauzy in the pits, we have Silvers in the pits, we've got Shari out on a possible outlap. No, it's an actual proper lap, and we've got 2 Silvers of Delta and Black Widow J in the pits. Okay, as coming back live anyway from my point of view, we have basically just caught Shadi spin it at the stadium section, and that has unfortunately cost him his lap. Is that Jorge crossing the line? No, he is in, so still waiting for one of these non-lappers to actually put lap time in. As we see Gauzy having a bit of trouble himself. That is at the exit of turn 8, so he's maybe went a wee bit too early onto the acceleration. As we see Turbson come in with a 12.4, taking provisional pole with only 7 minutes to go. As we see another yellow flag, sector 1, we will stay on board with Silvers. We can maybe pick that up. I imagine it's going to be turn 1, because it looks fairly clean for Silvers. Yeah, it's a sector 1, sector 3, so it will be the start finish line. As Gauzy comes out once again on the mediums, and I believe so Delta is out on the sauce, and the other Silver of Black Widow J is still on the hard tyres. Six minutes to go, and it is already becoming quite an exciting qualifying session so far. Quite a varied strategy compared to Monday as well, which makes it quite interesting. Now, the soft tyres on Monday did die after 4 laps. That has to be taken into consideration from some of these drivers, but we'll stick with Silvers. That's a 13.2, and that is him up to 5th place, and that is on the harder tyres. I never actually noticed what tyres he's on. That is an absolute cracking lap to be on these hard tyres. I imagine he's going to be a contender for pole position if he ever wants to jump onto the soft tyres. Speaking about the pole position, that is Lappin putting himself up into pole position currently with a 12.3 on the soft tyres. Now, with 5 minutes to go, there is enough time for at least another run, so it will be interesting to see if any of these soft tyre runners will be intrigued to possibly go into the medium tyres. As we see a yellow flag, sector 3. Well, actually, as Delta actually pits, sorry, I just noticed that. So we have Black Widow starting a lap. We'll stay on board with her. As she actually finishes lap, it's 14.5, puts her up into 11th place with the hard tyres. Right, quickly going back, I was about to say it'll be interesting to see if any of the soft tyre runners will jump onto the medium tyres, considering the tyre wear for the softs basically guarantees you into a 2-stop strategy where you can possibly get away with a 1-stop no problem. So we have 5 more drivers yet to put lap in. That is Jorge, Archer, Gauzieg, Shadi and Delta. We do have, I believe, 2 cars coming out of the pits, but it doesn't look like it's any of the bottom 5 as of yet. So we have 1 run to make this count. We have Rob Stark on the medium tyres, we have Colin Blake coming out on the medium tyres, and we have Ken Worthington also coming out on the medium tyres. So it looks like quite a number of people are starting to lean on these medium tyres currently. That's probably the best strategy, as previously explained. We have Rio with the first 111 of the qualifying session, a 111.4. That takes him 9 tenths ahead. Yes, it is. I thought my maths was absolutely terrible there for a second. 9 tenths ahead of Lappin. That is on the soft tyres as well. So Rio can't get another. You can do another lap, but you can't get another run in. So he's committed himself onto these soft tyres. So he will be most likely doing a 2-stopper, as we see the Haas of Wizard got a bit wide at the stadium section. That's not really going to help his time, but with 2-lap old sauce, he'll probably be coming in for a pit. So we go on board with Colin Blake. That is him on the medium tyres. He is currently 5th place. Let's see if he can improve his lap time. And currently that's half a tenth off sector 1. Still in contention though. It needs to get a clean run out of this hairpin. Now on Monday he was struggling quite a bit with the exit of these hairpins. Nice and smooth from the lad, and that gets him out fairly quickly and tidy, heading into the Mercedes car turn 8. Let's see how he does. Nice and early on the throttle, using as much track as he can. Let's see his sector 2 time. And he is up by almost 2 tenths, so it's an improvement so far. A little bit wide on the AstroTurf. That might dampen his momentum. There's a yellow flag sector 3. I think he's just missed it. Someone's maybe went off at the stadium section, I believe. He gets a good exit out of turn 15 and 16, and it's an improvement but does not improve position. It's a 113.0 and we have yellow flags all over the place, which probably doesn't help. There was a yellow flag by the looks of it, turn 3. It's traffic going a little bit slow there. I believe that was man drop, but getting out of the way quite well. Let's get out of on the onboard section. So Rial has actually got himself out again on a fresh sauce. Can he make it to the end of the lap? It'll be very interesting to see, especially with all this traffic, as Wizok gets himself disqualified. That's not going to go well, and that puts him up into 20th in last place, unfortunately. So he will have to climb all the way up. We have had another couple of jumps. We see Ken Worthington up into 4th, second row of the grid with 12.9. We have, who else on the lap? Jorge is not. Gauzy is in the pits once again, so that is his qualifying over. Shadi and Delta still waiting to put lap times, and Delta crosses a line. And that puts him up into 8th place with a 13.4, but crucially on the medium tyres. What about Shadi? Actually, before that, Riel does get another lap in. So that's crucial for him. So we have Turbson, Colin Blake, Blackwater J and Goosey Egg and Wizok all finishing their sessions. This is very unfortunate for Shadi to be behind the Force India, but can he finish his time? That's 12 for him, a 14.1. So he will have the free choice of tyre, being not in the top 10. But that's a bit of a poor qualifying session for him. I believe he would probably be thinking he can do better. We have Bielsa, sorry about that, Delta going a little bit over the top there. I think him and the Red Bull having a little bit of fun. Bielsa finishing his lap 5th place for him. The Renaults basically taking the third row of the grid to themselves. But we'll stay on board with Riel. He looks like he's just been hampered there by a Sauber, which is not going to help, and that's his qualifying over. That's who he's playing about with Delta. So who else is on the lap? Lappin is not, Cohen is not, Silvers, let's have a look, he's about to cross the line. He improves his time up into 4th with a 12.4, the best of the medium tyre runners. Cracking lap from Silvers. Who else is needing to put a lap in? No one else, so that is qualifying done. So that's been an interesting session so far. The times have dropped dramatically since this last night's patch, so that's good to see. Again, if this can translate into really good racing, this will be very interesting. So just to confirm the grids for the German Grand Prix race, we have Riel on pole position, we have Lappin, we have Turbsen, Silvers really, Ken Worthington, Bielsa, I'm going to get his name wrong so many times, and if you're hearing this, mate, I do apologise. 7th, Colton Blake, Delta is 8th, Mandrop 9th, Flasher 10th, Luck Taps 11th, Archer 12th, Shady 13th, and that's that done. I'm not going to tell you the rest. What about that? All I can tell you is Wazok is starting in the back because he got disqualified. So less than 30 seconds to go until the formation lap starts for this German Grand Prix, and we get to see what tyres the people outside the top 10 take and whether they go for the 1 or 2 stop strategy. There we go, as the formation lap starts, and let's have a look at the tyres. We have basically everyone apart from Wazok outside the top 10 on the medium tyres, so it looks like Riel, Lappin, Turbsen and Bielsa will be doing 2 stoppers unless they can really extend these tyres. So it'll be very interesting. It looks like Silvers and Ken Worthington pace wise have the advantage in hand to possibly do 1 stop and maybe get themselves a podium position. So these 2 drivers will be the people we'll keep an eye on throughout the race, but the person I want to keep an eye out on is Bielsa. He is on the soft tyres, he needs to clear out 4th and 5th almost straight away, otherwise they will slow him down due to them being on slower compound of tyre. If he can get a great turn 1 out of this first lap, he will be in a really good spot to try and save his race. I say save his race like he's going to be doing a bad thing by doing 2 stops, but sometimes it's always best to go for the 1 stop if you can. As the drivers start lining up onto the grid, by the looks of it, that's not a great camera angle, I can't see anything from there. I was going to say by the looks of it there has not been any disqualifications, but Riel has been disqualified as well as Silvers. Does he? Oh no, it was Lappin. Who else? I'll be able to tell actually from the disqualification thing. So it was Archer and Shady as well. So that's not going very well for them. We will take off the UI. This is not going well. That's 5 lights and the evaluation to race goes. Bit of a delayed start there, but that looks like it's a very good start from Rio. Oh, as the Ferraris are already in a spin. That's not been a great start. And speaking of more, but that's carnage. 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all caught up there. Still more spinning. This is so unfortunate. Let's get this all back up for a second. Right, back to the start. We have Riel still in front of Lappin. Contact. As we head into turn 3, he holds the corner. As we see Bieljuk put himself up into 3rd place. So, who got hit? That's Black Widow J with the first 3-second time penalty. So, Thompson has lost out majorly. And speaking of that, he has actually left the race. So, we have had carnage already the first lap. That's been absolutely brilliant. But Riel has kept the lead over Lappin, and they're both gapping Bieljuk and Silvers, the first person on the soft tyres, followed by Ken Worthington, Rob Stark, Aziox, Archer, Lasher, Colin Blake, Jorge just passing Black Widow into the stadium section. Shady, I believe the first of the starting people in who had the incidents. I believe that was with Riddled Skull and Luck Taps. That was a bit of a crazy issue there. We have Delta, we have Wizok, who's jumped 5 places from the start, even though being in that collision after turn 1, so it's been decent as he goes he gets a tank slapper. He nearly went off there. Manages to save it. Sorry, we have Riddled Skull, Luck Taps, Gauzy Egg, Mandrop and Turbson, who's at the end. We see a change for position between Aziox and Archer. Aziox unfortunately goes a little bit too hard into the corner and loses all that place. He's about to say he's doing a lot better than he was on Monday. Now a little bit argy-bargy here between, as we see Lappin go wide, so the soft tyres are not working already for Lappin. That's not good. Maybe some contact with Rio. That's so unfortunate. He's down into 7th place. So that has elevated Silvers. Silvers past Bieljuk without even realising. That's Lasher up into 10th. It looks like he's lost it again, unfortunately, Lappin. It's not going well. As we see as Bieljuk pits already. So these soft tyres are just not working well. And that is, he's picked up a 5-second penalty as well. It's very, very unfortunate. So we have Silvers. Looks like he's catching up Riel already. Riel did put in the fastest lap of the race. But he has to pit surely in the next couple of laps. Now we did make it to lap 4 until the leaders pitted in the first race. So we'll have to see where it is. The Silvers is catching him up already, and he is gapping Kim Worthington. This man is on a mission, as we see Shari passing Black Widow up into 9th. So he's having a bit of a really good recovery drive, side by side, coming into turn 8. Does he make the move stick? Pushes Black Widow a little bit wide. She's having none of that. Takes a position back, still side by side, heading into the stadium section. This is turn 11. Round it outside. Oh, and that's Black Widow spun. That's her spun. That's very unfortunate, as we see Jorge pick a position from Colin Blake, and he's spun in the inside of the turn 12, the stadium section. The banking has caught him. We just missed that there. That is Riel. What's happened to Riel? Oh, he has spun it at turn 1. These soft tyres are just dreadful at this race, and that promotes Silvers up into the lead after only 4 laps, and that is a 3.2 second lead over himself and Ken Worthington. Now let's change the gap, keep it into leader. That's Gauzy Egg with a 3-second time penalty. Jorge looks like he's had a bit of a spin here. That's him dropped to 14th place. He has. That is the exit of turn 3. So that's unfortunate. This is a very chaotic race. I have to I have to say, but this is really enjoyable. And obviously Locktats with the momentum puts himself back up a position up into 16th. Take a break from that. So we'll probably suspect that Real I keep on saying Real, it's either Real or Real. I'm going to call him Real. I'm just so used to saying Real Madrid. Anyway, his tyres are goosed. He is struggling coming into that stadium section. He will probably be most likely pitting this lap. If not, I'll be surprised. He can't even turn this. Oh, this is unfortunate. At least he's ghosted and he's not going to make any contact there as he does enter the pit. Now I have to say a good shout out to Wizok. Hard tyres, the only person in the hard tyres, started in last position. That's him all the way up into 11th place so far. As we see some battling for 7th between Aziox and Delta. Aziox is having a better performance compared to Monday, so this is going to be very good. Colin Blake is on the tail of both of them, so there could still be some action. It looks like Delta has managed to pass Azox, but does he have a look? There's yellow flag sector 1 and 2, and I believe, no, it's not Azox and Delta, but Azox does get past Delta once again. This is inviting Colin Blake back into this race, as Lappin picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, so it is getting bad to worse for Lappin. As we see Black Widow J go super wide, coming out of the exit at turn 10 right in the background there, but that's Silvers with 4.1 second gap already heading into turn 6. He looks like he is on a mission to win this race. But we'll stay on board for this battle for 7th, because this is very tasty. As we see Riddle's Skull actually loads a couple of places, so maybe he has made a mistake somewhere. And Delta has passed Azox once again, as we see Archer pass Rob Stark coming out of the Parabolica turn 5 with the DRS. A little bit shaky, sorry. Colin Blake picks a 3-second time penalty, but manages to make it stick. Speaking of which, we have actual Bieljuk ready to pass his teammate Colin Blake in the inside, making it 2 passes there. A little bit of contact there with Delta. Delta loses 2 positions in 1 corner from battling Azox. Bieljuk is on a charge up the field again. A little bit more contact there. That's a wee bit unfortunate. But he does have the better grip in the tyres, and that's him up into 7th place. We see a yellow flag sector 1. I think that is Luck Taps. Yes, it is. Doing a little bit of Tokyo Drift here. As we'll actually see him get lapped there by Silvers in lap 7. As we see Shari pick up a 3-second time penalty. Now Shari's had a bit of a great recovery drive. That's him up into 6th. Now he was in one of the first lap incidents, more particularly right at the start of the race between, I believe it was Riddled Skull and Luck Taps. Speaking about incidents, let's see about who has gained the most. As Real puts the fastest lap in with a 15.5. That was Rob Stark. He has had the better start out of anyone with 11 places, with Wizok actually getting 11 places now as he passes Delta. So these hard tyres are working out very well, but Colin Blake gets a better drive and he takes 9th place with Delta getting back at Wizok. This is great racing by these lads. Oh, and Wizok's ghosting. A bit of a connection issue there, but he slots back behind Delta. So Archer, Rob Stark and Wizok are your biggest gainers of this race. .5 seconds a gap between Silvers and Ken. The gap looks like it's increasing more and more as Delta spins turn 1. and that's not worked out in his favour. The battling still continues. That's Wizard and Black Widow J battling out. Who gets DRS between these two? It is Wizard. Can he capitalise on this and allow himself up into 10th place? And that is Colin Blake making the pass over Aziox, putting himself up into 8th. Or does he? That's Wizard making the pass as well, and Wizard is up into 10th place, but Colin does not make the pass stick, so Aziox stays in 8th position. It might be only for 2 points, but these lads are really racing for it. We have Mandrop trying to get himself past Black Widow, and it looks like that hasn't actually worked. This has allowed Jorge in the inside of turn 11 to pass him, and that's Jorge up into 12th, which is looked at with yet another 3-second time penalty. So let's have a look. This is more or less a battle for 8th. Aziox and Colin Blake do look like they are starting to gap Wizok, unfortunately for him, but it looks like Aziox is actually gapping Colin Blake as well. But the DRS is really keeping Colin in it, and actually gets himself very, very close to the rear of the Force India, and it looks like he's had a better exit. We will actually stay on board with Colin because it looks like he's gone. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Less than a car's width given. This isn't bumper cars, lads. Does he make it stick? He does, and that is Colin up into 9th place. But Aziox gets a better run on the outside, still hitting wheels. Does he take the inside? He does. He makes it stick. That does give Colin a little bit of room on the exit, but that makes it stick. Aziox is defending very, very well these last couple of laps. Still contact between these two drivers, and that has made it bad to worse, and both drivers are spun out. That is very unfortunate, and I believe that's Mandrop getting involved as well, I think, trying to avoid, and very dangerous driving there from the Force India, almost taking out a car, and Colin Blake still cannot get himself back into this race. That's and very unfortunate for both drivers. They've basically lost out quite a bit there. Aziox spinning at the pit lane, and so's Colin. This is very much like synchronised ice skating. This is actually quite funny. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. Anyway, right, I believe we've seen Bielchuk just past Shari, and we see Jorge past Black Widow J. So Jorge's actually gained about 4 or 5 places there as he loses the rear and spins possible contact, I think, with Black Widow J. That's allowed Wizok to get himself up into 9th place, and he's now chasing Jorge. So it looks like Jorge's been the big winner out of all this incidents. So good racecraft from him. I guess previously mentioning we had Bielchuk and Shari to see yellow flag sector 2. I believe that's going to be Tubbsen, who just been overtaken by Lappin, as we see Black Widow J head out into the gravel at turn 11, and that corner seems to be catching a lot of people. That drops her into 13th position, and that releases Wizok to chase Jorge for 8th position. And we have I was going to say Real, I can't make my mind up. Anyway, I'm going to just not say his name because that's Bielchuk and Shari fighting. And Shari gets the DRS and passes before the corner, but can he make it stick? He does, and that is Shari back up into 5th place. Now, I haven't said much about the gap between first and second, but it has basically doubled almost. That is coming up to 9 seconds, 8.6 to be exact. But Ken is with close company with Archer all over the back. He's had a cracking race from the middle of the field, putting himself all the way up into contention for a podium. And he is in DRS range, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does coming into turn 3, the exit of turn 3 and 4. On the DRS, let's see if we can do anything with this. He's got the pace, he's pushing it, he's around the outside. Can he make it stick, however? We do have a couple of lapped cars and luck taps in the ASOX, as Rio picks up a 3-second time penalty for himself. And Ken looks like he's made it stick. Lasher and Rob Stark having a little bit of a battle as Rio passes Wizok for 9th. He is, I believe, the second of the pit stop two stoppers. Bieljuk in 7th is the first of the two stoppers. We see Mandrop has lost it lap 1, and that's and Colin Blake loses at lap 1. Oh, it's gone bad to worse. So yeah, unfortunately for these two guys, that's their races more or less done, unless there's maybe a safety car, but I doubt that's actually part of this evaluation race. Let's see if there's any close battles. It looks like Lasher is hounding Rob Stark, trying to get this 4th place back. Yellow flag sector 2 and 3. Can't really see on the Delta where that is. It could actually be Delta. Now I'm saying that, let's have a quick gander. No, it's Black Widow's just passed for 12th, and that is Rio passing Jorge for 8th. And I've just missed Ken Worthington passing Archer. And speaking of that, Lasher almost passing Rob Stark, not quite making it, however. We see Gozeg put himself up into 10th. Passing Wizok, so Wizok's starting to go down the order. We see Jorge and Rio still battling, as well as Riddle, Skull and Delta. Delta is in the pits as ASOX picks a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. They're still battling out. Let's have a look. So it looks like Jorge has got the line contact there between Riel and Jorge at the turn 8. That's not really going to go down well, as we see Ken Worthington, the first of the leaders, to make a pit stop, and he will be on the hard tyres, of course, and that's him on a 1-stop strategy. 20 laps to go. It's a little bit tight for the tyres, but they'll probably work more likely than not. Air Shadi, I don't know if I said Air, just Shadi, does manage to make it out in front of Ken. But actually, quite interestingly, Bieljuk is right behind Ken, but Bieljuk still has to pit one more time. Lasher and Rob Stark still at it. Lasher does get the better X out of the corner, and that's him up into 3rd place. We see Wizok passing Jorge, because Jorge is in the pits. He is on to the... a bit of a glitch, so that's interesting. He's on to the medium tyres again. So that is a 2-stop confirmed for Jorge. And that brings him out into 14th place. Let's have a look. Oh my god, what's happened here? I didn't even see. Archer is now less than a second behind Silvers. Where did that come from as Bieljuk picks a 3-second time penalty? Silvers must have made a mistake there. Let's see what he does for his tyres. He does go into the hards, so Rob Stark looks like he's going to be potentially in this lead for the race. He's definitely in the battle, I should say, sorry. He will probably want to pit as soon as he can. He is getting hounded by Williams, who is already lapped. I believe that is of Mandrop, with Colin Blake right behind him. As Rio picks up, I believe, his 2nd time penalty as Shadi X enters the pits onto the hards as well. So this is around the time the medium tyre runners will come in. We'll have a look for Archer. I would imagine he will probably enter as quickly as he can, try and minimise the undercut that Silvers might get straight away after lap 1. He's more or less been free of traffic to an extent. In saying that, I've just realised Ken Worthington has passed Silvers, so Silvers must have made a mistake in that lap, so that's Ken provisionally in the lead, and he was 8 seconds behind. As Lucktats has another 3-second time penalty. Let's have a look at the pits for Archer and Rob Stark, both of them in the pits at the same time, as well as Colin Blake, all on the mediums. Let's see where they head out. That is not going to be close whatsoever, because that's Ken Silver's passing, as well as it looks like the other Mercedes, which has already been lapped. That's Archer back into thirds, right in front of Bielzik, and Lasher just coming out in fifth, with Rob Stark right behind in sixth. So that's not really worked out for Rob Stark. There is a bit of a gap between Lasher and himself. No DRS available for Rob for probably the next couple of laps until he can get the tyres up and running. But Silver's already hassling Ken Worthington, less than a second between these two. And obviously the mistake from Silver's has allowed Archer to get much more closer. Yeah, in saying that, no, Ken Worthington's 2 seconds in front. That they were the other way around. I'm completely off. This is just too chaotic for me to even think. That's Ken Worthington, Silver's and Archer. They look like the main three to be battling for the win today, as Locktap picks up another penalty for himself. So you're basically looking at Bielzik, Biel, Gauzieg, Wizok, Black Widow J, Lapin, Jorge, Rizzled Skull and Turbsen to make pit stops. So there's still a number of people still to make a pit stop in this race. We'll go back up to the top because Silver's is getting very close, going around the outside of a Ferrari. They are not making it easy whatsoever, but does get the DRS. Let's see if he can make anything of this. He's going around the outside. It's saying that he's in the lead. Can he make it stick? Ken braking very late, but manages to keep it. The better exit. They're allowing a bit of a gap to themselves, so it's very respectful racing between these two drivers. As Silver's basically concedes position for now, as Lapin picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that is a Ferrari going off the road, I believe, of Locktaps right behind, and he is on fresh hards as well. So the battle in between first and second is actually allowing Archer to catch up. He's basically gained a second as Shari passes Real, and I believe that is Lapin wanting to pass Jorge, or maybe the other way around. We'll go back to the top because this is a much more exciting race as Bielzik enters the pits from 4th place. Archer is on a mission to try and get back into the DRS range. 1.4 seconds covering the top 3. Stay on board with Silvers because he looks like he's more prone to getting overtake done already before even entering DRS. Got a very good exit and he's clear of Ken Worthington before the hairpin. Ken does go a lot bit wide. This invites Archer as he actually picks up a 3-second time penalty. This invites Archer into the DRS range actually. So this might help his advancement to possibly catching Silvers out. So he needs to capitalise on this very quickly if he wants to make the most of it. Gauzieg picks up a 3-second time penalty from 13th place. Getting a tank slapper there in the exit of 11. He's pushing so hard in order to try and get himself into a position to fight Ken. Now importantly, Ken is out of DRS range, so that's only going to let Archer reel him in as Silvers puts the fastest lap of the race in with 15.4. He means business. And again, with DRS not going to be given to Ken Worthington, it gives him a bit of a, as Rob Stark picks up a 3-second time penalty, it gives him some breathing space as we see Archer on the attack. Let's see if he can actually do anything with this DRS. He's getting closer. Does he have the look? No, he's a wee bit too wide. Not too wide. Oh, getting very close here. Wasn't close enough to have a look, a proper look into this corner. As we see Wizok pit from 9th place onto the medium tyres, so he might get himself a decent top 10. It looks like from this point of view right now, Archer has better control of the car and these harder tyres. Maybe they're not working for Ken's setup at all from now, but Silvers is now starting to gap Ken, and that's the worrying thing for them, as lapping passes Jorge once again for P9, as he picks up a 3-second time penalty for himself. Now, I do not believe Archer has picked up a 3-second time penalty. We'll check, we'll obviously find out at the end, but it'll be very crucial. Penalties do stack up here, especially at turn 1 and the exit of the hairpin. So easy to get, as Real picks up a 5-second time penalty for himself for speeding in the pit lane. Now Archer is so much closer to Ken Worthington, coming into the hairpin, goes round the outside. Can he make it stick? He does. Better exit, and that's him up into second place, which is very important, because the gap now between first and second is 2.5 seconds, so they have to work together to try and close this gap, because otherwise Silvers is going to be winning this race by the looks of it. Lasher is managing to stabilise the gap between himself and Rob Stark, still 1.4 seconds between these two guys, so the undercut has worked quite well for Lasher there. Shari is still actually in a position to get a potential 4th position. He's only 4 and a bit seconds away from Lasher. Again, with a first lap incident, he's done very well to make the recovery. Bielsa, the first of the 2 stoppers, in 7th place, with a comfortable lead over Rio, who has just recently pitted. You have Lappin still battling with Jorge for 9th and 10th. They've been basically changing their positions basically every turn by the look of it. And we have Delta on the outside of the top 10 on the harder compound tyre. Now he might capitalise on Lappin and Jorge if they battle out consistently. We've got Gauzy, Egg and Black Widow right behind each other. I believe they're probably improving from their races on the Monday, so it's very good to see as Lappin enters the pits, possibly on another set of medium tyres. Wizok, he has the faster tyres out of basically more or less anyone, and fresher tyres as well. So watch him climb up the field, possibly get himself into the top 10. If he plays his cards right, he might get himself a top, well, not top, but I'd say top 10, Ross, what are you saying? Possibly 9th position. Is he in DRS range as we see Black Widow spin? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's just gone bad to worse for Black Widow. I believe 2 or 3 spins we've accidentally caught today. But that, that allows Wizok up into 12th position, and his next target is Gauzy Egg. Now the gap between first and second, the Silvers has checking out. It looks like the battle for second is going to be Archer and Ken Worthington. Let's see if Ken can actually do anything here. He's looking at it, he's just making sure that Archer's aware that he's right behind him. But Silvers has now got a 3.7 second lead entering lap 22. He's now clearing away, which is probably what he wants to do as quickly as possible, especially with the lap traffic being a little chaotic. Wants to make sure he's got a bit of a gap in case he's getting held up. Is there any, as Gauzy picks the 3-second time penalty, any close battles? Yes, there is. The battle for 5th, Shari is catching Rob Stark very quickly. We also have Wizok less than 2nd behind Gauzy, as they'll probably be the next couple of battles we'll pay attention to. Shadi is on the same strategy as everyone. He does not have to pit anymore, but it looks like pace wise he's quite a bit faster than Rob Stark. Maybe not having the best of qualifying sessions, as Azox picks the 3-second time penalty for himself. Wizok less than a second, with Gauzy probably entering DRS fairly soon, as we see a yellow flag sector 1. I imagine that's going to be right behind Shadi. I'm going board with Bielsa. Let's see if we can actually spot this incident. As Real posts the fastest lap of the race. No, we can't. With 14.8 as the fast lap of the race, as we see Shadi enter 5th position. His next target is Lasher, and by the look of it, he has the pace to potentially get himself up into 4th position. Now we'll have a look at the battle between Gilzeg and Wizok, because Wizok is right behind Gilzeg, and with the DRS coming up, sure enough, Wizok might be getting himself into 11th place. And Wizok makes it easy, and that's him up into 11th place. His next target is Delta, 4.6 seconds the difference, but he is on fresher tyres, he is on the faster compounded tyres, as we see lapping past Black Widow for 13th place. Black Widow looks like she's just struggling a bit in these hard tyres, maybe not her particular friend, these types of tyres. Any other battles? It looks like the field is starting to stagnate, but I say that Ken Worthington passes Archer as we see a yellow flag sector 1. A bit of contact there, and Ken goes a little bit sideways and loses momentum, and that's allowed Archer back in, as I actually eat my own words because that's just the game playing on me. It's Ken Worthington still in the lead, or I should say 2nd place. Jorge picks the 3-second time penalty for himself. I believe that's his first of the race. So I just got trolled there from my game, so I really do apologise about that. But just to confirm, it is Ken Worthington from Archer 2nd and 3rd. As we see Black Widow and Lappin. What's happened to Lappin? Where's he went to? He's just... I think he's went to get some like German schnitzel or something like that, because he's just went very much off that track. And that's dropped him into 15th. And just actually been lapped there by Silver's, his teammate. So yeah, Ken Worthington and Archer, as we see Rob Start pick up another 3-second time penalty, his 2nd of the day. That's a great camera angle as we see Archer pass Ken Worthington on the outside. Goes onto the racing line, can he make it stick? Yes. Can he get a better exit though? He does, and makes it stick. That's Archer once again into 2nd place. It looks like it's a very close battle between these two drivers, and it has been throughout this race. Now Ken having a look in the inside, a little bit of contact but not enough to push Archer out. Side by side, wheel to wheel racing, as that allows Ken Worthington up into 2nd place and into the stadium section. He keeps it clean, he keeps it 1 car length ahead of Archer, as we've seen a yellow flag briefly there. I believe that was sector 2. But this squabbling between 2nd and 3rd is allowing Silvers to increase his gap at 7.5 seconds with less than 8 laps to go. Yellow flag sector 2 and 3. Can't see anything as of yet. Let's see if there's any other closer battles. Speaking about getting closer, Wizok is less than 3.5 seconds away from Delta to be exact, and is catching, I believe, looks like it's a 2nd a lap in the non-rich energy drink, as we see Archer and Ken still battling it out side by side. They're still going at it. This is great racing from each other. This is almost Hamilton Vettel-esque. But it looks like Archer once again has the upper hand, but it picks up a 3-second time penalty for himself. Now that's going to be crucial in this race, because I believe himself and Ken have multiple time penalties. So they want to try and stay ahead, as we see Shari pass Lasher up into 4th. He's 10 seconds behind Ken and Archer. If they keep on battling each other out, they could potentially slow themselves up for Shari to maybe overtake for the podium. It's a great look there of the Toro Rosso and McLaren entering turn 4. But Ken has the ERS, no, not the ERS, the DRS. And once again, this is the opportunity to overtake. It feels like every lap that's where they overtake each other. does he make it stick? That is the difference. He does, and Ken Worthington gets himself back up into second place. Yes. Anything else? Any close battles? Any other close battles? Shaddy picks up another 3-second time penalty. It looks like the gaps are starting to stagnate. And that's just allowing everyone to maybe calm down a little bit, as we are on board with Lasher with going invisible in one of these Haas cars. I believe it would be off Turbsen. But we have to stay on board with these two by the looks of it, because they are our closest battle for this race. Archer having a little look in the inside. Does make it stick. Can he get the momentum out of turn 4? He does. Ken has the DRS. I honestly thought it would have been Archer, but that's he must have got past right on the line. But that's just allowed Ken to save his second place there for a second. And we see Real pass Bieljuk into 7th position. We see a yellow flag as well, so that's possibly mean Bieljuk maybe going a little bit wide into turn 1. We can stay on board as we see Jorge once again in the pits. I believe they'll be for the soft tyres. Yes, it is. That takes him into 11th position, or 12th I should say now. This elevates Wizlock into the point scoring positions as we see Luck Taps with a 14.4, the fastest lap of the race so far in the soft tyres. Possibly with Jorge ready to battle for that fastest lap. So once again we have Ken and Archer entering into the DRS zone. Once again we'll possibly see another overtake. Can Ken defend this? He tries to. 3-second time penalty for Rio, and Ken makes it stick. For this lap at least. Still 5 laps to go. Anything can happen. I hope nothing bad happens between these two drivers. Have been very, very respectful in the racing. But again, this is allowing Shaddy to catch up. I know there's only 5 laps to go, but he's gained 2 seconds in the last 2 laps. So they are slowing themselves down, and obviously the gap between the leaders is almost 11 seconds. Silvers can take a fucking tea break. I apologise for the swearing though. Silvers can take a tea break and still win this race by the looks of it. I think he's just wanting to make sure that with the penalties he still manages to keep himself in front. We have Jorge with these soft tyres passing Gauze, and he's only 5 seconds up the road from Wizlock. So if these soft tyres hold on, he actually might get himself into 10th position, and if he gets the fastest lap, that extra point, not like it matters here as we just miss Archer passing Ken Worthington into the hairpin. What am I thinking? That's where they always overtake. But Ken gets the better exit. That's second place. This is going to be the stage where it's like whoever is going to make that overtake on the hairpin the last lap is going to be second place. The question is like, do you want to be the prey or the predator? That's always been the debate. As Jorge does get himself the fast lap of the race with a 14.2, he is only 2 seconds away from collecting that extra point, as well as 1 championship point. As we see a yellow flag sector 3, as we see lapping in the pits once again. As we see a spin as well, as that was Luck Taps, I believe. Yes, it was. So it's not his day. So we see Shaddy passing as well, and that is the Mercedes of Lappin coming out of the pits as well. Now let's stay on board with these two. Let's see where the overtake gets done this lap, or is there an overtake? That's the question. It looks like Ken has actually covered. As what's happened to Shaddy? as Lasher's passed him. Shaddy's made a mistake at turn 3. So that's elevated Lasher back up into 4th place. So it looks like second and third are more or less sorted. It's really between these two drivers to see what happens here. As Real unfortunately leaves the session. I believe that might be a connection issue as Gauzy picks up a 3-second time penalty for himself. So 3 laps to go. Other battles we can keep an eye out for, we have Jorge catching up Wizzock, only 2 seconds the difference now between Wizzock and Jorge. But Archer and Ken Worthington are the stars of this show. Archer trying to go round the outside here, but Ken once again another good defence and pushes Archer a little bit, or Archer maybe goes a little bit sideways is probably more the correct response there. So Ken is really defending well here. As we see a bit of a glitch here, I do apologise. As Real joins himself back in, so he's not really lost any positions, so that's a good thing for himself. But we're into lap 33 as we see a spinner. I believe that was Black Widow once again. I always seem to catch her spinning. That's Jorge and Wizzock battling each other. We'll go back to the second place battle in a second. Excuse me. Because I want to keep an eye on this. Does Jorge pass? Yes, he does. He passes Wizzock in second, and unfortunately does miss out the championship fastest lap. As we see Archer and Ken still at it. Ken getting past before turn 3 starts allowing himself to get DRS and repassing Archer back into second place with only 1 lap to go, and this is the yellow flag sector 2. Possibly Gauzy Egg? Yes it is. Where's that? That's in the exit of turn 10 as Colin Blake retires from the session, I believe, or either leaves the game. Sorry, I'm missing out in this battle. Now they're coming up to traffic. Does traffic affect it? No, Gauzy Egg does get out of the way between these two. That's a good driving from him. So it comes down to the final lap of the race. Silvers is about to finish his lap 33 and basically cruise for the victory. But the main focus is on these two drivers as we see Jorge pass Delta up into 9th place. So these soft tyres are working very well in the end. So let's see what we can do. Ken looks like he's had a really good run coming out to the start of the last lap, but it looks like Archer's already catching. Now this is going to be important. I believe that whoever gets into or exits the hairpin first more or less has a really good chance of winning this second place. It looks like Ken, I have to say. He does make a stick. Archer does go for a bit of a lunge. He gets a better exit though. Goes for the flip-flop. Can he make it stick? Looks like Ken's got a little bit better traction. But Archer's not giving up. Been great racing between these two all race. It's a shame that it's the last lap of the race. I'd really like to see this go on for another 34 laps. But it looks like Ken Worthington has got this under control as we see Silvers win the German Grand Prix evaluation race. Now let's see what's happening here. Archer does try and go for the wee sneaky attempt there for the overtake, but it is Ken Worthington who provisionally takes second, followed by Archer. It looks like penalties has gone Ken Worthington's way as well. Let's see, Lash across the line for 4th position, with a very well recovered Shaddy in 5th position, as we see Locktats pick up a 5-second time penalty from last place, unfortunately for him, as a really good 5th place for Shaddy there. You see Rob Stark and Real just cross the line there, 6th and 7th combined. Unfortunately, we see Archer leave. He's finished the race, that's fine. We see Bielchuk pass Real penalty wise up into 7th place. That's a bit of an improvement for him. Jorge is next across the line as we see a yellow flag in sector 3, not like it matters at the end of the race. And Jorge finishes 9th, followed by Delta getting the last championship point ahead of Wizok, who is the last driver to cross the line, and that is the race over. What a cracking evaluation race. This is what I hope to see on the wheel-to-wheel racing leagues. If it's anything like what we've just had today, it's going to be a belter of a race. Now, a wee race rundown today is going to be Silvers, who wins this race, followed by Ken Worthington. We've got Archer in the 3rd place position. We've got Lasher 4th, Shaddy 5th, Rob Stark 6th, Bielchuk 7th, and I really do apologise for messing up your name all day if I have. Real 8th, Jorge 9th, Delta 10th, getting that last championship point. Wizok 11th in the Haas. We've got Mandrop 12th in the Williams. Lappin, who unfortunately I do believe he actually did get lapped, ironically, 13th. We've got Gauzieg 14th, Riddled Skull 15th, Turbson 16th, Black Widow, who had a bit of a torrid time with the spinning, and 17th. We've got Azox in 18th, and Colin Blake and Luck Taps hitting it off 19th and 20th. Whew, that was some race. Oh, that was some race. Right, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I would like to mention that we will be streaming this race on Twitch. Let me get to the actual thing up. Here we go. We will be streaming this the first race of the season, the Australian Grand Prix, live on Twitch as of 8 PM GMT. I believe that is 9 PM CEST. So keep an eye out on that. If you have enjoyed obviously watching this and you want to watch more, feel free to follow on this channel, and also search W2W Racing on our YouTube channel to check out our other live streaming content, which we have basically 2 tiers of racing. One's going to be on Twitch, one's going to be on YouTube. If you're wanting to watch more live action before the Monday race for Formula 1, within this W2W Racing channel, myself and 3 other drivers, Marcus Bueller, I should say, no, it's going to be 2 teams, Marcus Bueller, myself, Bradley Dean and Scott Greenwood, who make up the first team, which will be streaming on the W2W Racing app for the 24 hours of Spa. We do have another team consisting of Zach Booth, Leon Dupree, I don't know if I said Dupree, Jacob Vapriak, I can't get his name right, and Alexander Georgiev, who will be competing on behalf of W2W Racing as well. That was a lot of things just to go through there, but keep an eye out. We will be basically streaming all throughout the weekend and on Monday. I've spoke too much, I'll let you get on. Thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you in the near future. Goodbye.